Hi guys, welcome back to another episode or section or whatever of my vlog for a Storm of Swords Part 1 by George R. Martin. Uh, in this section, I'm just going to be talking about what I've read so far. We've been reading about Arya and Sansa Stark in both their own chapters. Nothing too much to report. I thought them chapters were kind of average, I suppose. Nothing too exciting for me. Sansa is still worried about or feeling guilty about throwing this girl underneath the bus to marry Joffrey, but she's become infatuated with another. I don't know if he's a prince. I'm probably just gonna say it's a prince. Um, Saying, "Oh, he's handsome and he in given time he'll love me," and I'm like thinking, haven't you like learned your lesson with Joffrey? You shouldn't fall for a pretty face. You should you know fall for someone right. And I don't think that she's learned her lesson with what she went through with Joffrey. Arya, she's trying to get to River Run. Now I had to look at where River Run is on one of the many maps in this book, and it's in the middle of Westeros when Winterfell was in the north. So it's closer to Winterfell, which I presume is where she ultimately wants to be, but it's still a long way. And she's been trying to get there and get away from these outlaws, is what they're called, because they are trying to take her to someone that could potentially take her back to where she started. We follow John as well. Not a lot to report in this section. We've discovered that there's all these giants riding these mammoths, and I thought that was. I mean, there was like loads of them, and I thought that was kind of a good backlaw for this world and for this book because uh, south of the wall, the main where the main characters are, it's very um non-magic related creatures. It's all like humans, and sometimes you get the odd magical creature, whatever, and dragons as well. But north of the wall, it's like anything goes. It's like creatures are us there. So I thought it was kind of a spectacle to read about these giants and mammoths, and riding on these mammoths like horses. And one of these characters was saying about how he was trying to keep warm, and he cut open the belly of a female giant and crawled into it. And then when she woke up, she saw him and she thought that he was her baby. Thought that was kind of funny. I think I heard about that somewhere else before. I can't remember. It just rings a bell. And we also follow Sam. I think in his first ever dedicated chapter, and I think because him and a massive group of members of the Night's Watch were beyond the wall, and they were obviously attacked, and John got taken by the wildlings, and Sam and the other surviving members of the Night's Watch are trying to get back to the wall, and there's this massive battle at the end of that chapter, and it's really exciting. I believe that some of the creatures have got past the wall, so yeah, it was really exciting, um, very action packed. So I really happy about that section. So I just forgot to mention my feelings about Lethal Weapon 4 because I said I've been watching them movies for the first time, and I might as well give my opinion on the fourth one. It's okay. It's a dumb, action-packed movie with too much comedy in it. Um, The villains in the movie are stereotypical. I don't know why in action movies every Asian character has to be an expert in martial arts. But I think that this one it was a really good, turn your brain off type of action movie. Um, with a because I mean the villain, I mean the main bad guy, I thought was somebody else, but it turned out to be a completely different character. Like I thought he was more of a like a minion kind of character, a side villain. I thought that it was kind of silly that how he was always holding this kind of necklace, which was a hidden weapon that he used to strangle people. I thought that was kind of a silly thing to for him to actually be holding when he. I think he only used it once or twice during the movie, and that was it. But it did seem to be a big threat to the two main characters, and I even thought, well, how are they even going to, yeah, beat this guy? So having watched all the movies, these are the and I've got no desire to watch the TV show. So these are the order that I like these movies in. Obviously the first one's the best one, then number three, then number four, then number two. I just thought that number two wasn't really that action packed. I thought the bad guys in it or the villains weren't really as threatening as the villains in number four. Um, yeah, that's where I have left it. And also the love interest with Riggs, Michael. I mean, Mel Gibson's character. It it was kind of introduced, but then it was kind of thrown away. Um, if you've seen the movie, you know why that was. But yeah, I'm glad I watched all the Lethal Weapon movies now. Hey guys, I thought I would film in a different location. I'm in a park near where I work. It's a very unknown park and area to me. Well, I've been working in this area for about a month now, but this park is, new. There's loads of people around, so I've got to remember to respect people's privacy. And yeah. And sorry if I look a bit rough. You would look a bit rough if you had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch a 4 o'clock bus in the morning. So anyway, yeah, not much to report on Storm of Swords. It's been very political. We've been reading about Tyron's sections, very political. I don't like it when this book becomes political. It really is boring when it goes into that. So yeah, they've been kind of discussing about Joffrey's wedding and what's going to happen to Sansa, and Tywin's father wants him to marry Sansa, and I think that because he's kind of in love with Shae, he doesn't want to be with Sansa for that reason. And also I think that is his dignity, and it's like he's not in love with Sansa, and Sansa's only a child, and he realizes that. And yeah, and I think because his father's pushing him to do stuff, and kind of somewhat blaming for his existence because he doesn't like his son. And they've been talking about what they're going to do with Robb and with Theoden Greyjoy at Winterfell, and what's going to happen there. It's very trying to like be friends with the right people and stabbing each other in the back and all that type of political stuff, which is fine for a epic fantasy, but it's freaking boring as hell to read. But I am enjoying reading a grimdark book. For those of you who aren't aware what grimdark is, You have a epic fantasy and traditional fantasy, which is like Lord of the Rings type of stuff. You're all happy and you got your hero, you got your villain. But with Grimdark, you don't really have that. Everyone, it's more of a realistic setting with a fantasy twist. Not very magical heavy, but it can be at times with magical creatures as well. And and everyone's all like not really like good or bad. They can have a preference. Some people may be more good and more bad, but people are more grey, middle of the road type of characters. And I like it. It's more like dark and gritty, and it's not about the happily ever after, and for the characters and for the storyline. But yeah, I'm enjoying reading Storm of Swords so far. Sorry, once again, been up since 3 a.m. So I'm gonna go home now, and yeah, I'll see you in my next part, guys. Hi guys, I'm in for my final check-in for this part. I was going to film outside in the garden, but the neighbours seem to be out in their backyard, which is fair enough. I just didn't want to. Well, for two reasons, I didn't want to film in the garden. Well, because of they were in the garden, I didn't want to like do this video and sound like I'm a total weirdo, thinking that they're having them thinking I'm talking to myself, and also the fact that I didn't want to bother them, so I'm filming it in my room again. So I just want to talk about my final thoughts. I'm at page 300 of A Storm of Swords, and I just want to conclude this section by talking about Jaime Lannister. We find that he and Brienne are still going to King's Landing, or I think it's what it is. It's either King's Landing or Casterly Rock. Can't remember. Anyway, they're going to where the Iron Throne is, and I like their banter between each other. They are like real unique characters. You couldn't really get um two characters that are both the same and different at the same time. And they are both captured by men that I think they are saying that they are Joffrey's men. No, no, no. My apologies. They say that they are from Catelina Stark, and they are there to take Jaime Lannister. They keep on saying about how Brienne is not very good looking and how they want to sexually assault her. And yes, the R words in association with that is used a few times, so be warned. It's not, I mean, the act isn't done, it's just implied. And Jaime is like thinking, well, about how to get out of it as well. And he's saying to Brienne, look, you're going to get sexually assaulted, just go along with it and do not fight them because it won't end well for you. And then at the end of that chapter, we hear that Jaime is restrained quite heavily and that he screams right at the end of the chapter. Now, because I watched videos on YouTube that contain spoilers, some about Jaime Lannister and what happens to him, I more or less know what that scream implied. So when I read this chapter next, that will probably more or less confirm what I think actually happened. But I am enjoying the book so far. It's more interesting than A Clash of Kings, but I think that might be the fact that for the UK releases anyway, A Storm of Swords is split up into two sections, so that might have something to do with it. So what I've been doing today, I've had a day off and I've just been in the garden. I've been out there about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's now about 1 o'clock. Did a massive part of it. It's not excessively warm outside, but it is a bit toasty. And because doing gardening is a physical activity, it does give you a lot of exercise. I also was reading the Buffy book, which I was reading. This was the Journals of Rupert Giles, Volume 1. And I did finish this, so I'm pleased about that. So I will be. So the next book I'll be reading is the Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I've had this. I've had this in I've had this in my room for such a long time. Sorry about the malfunction there, guys. And I just wanted to pick this one up and to give it a read. I think it's more of a thriller, but again, I've had it in my room for such a long time, and I wanted to get to it. So yeah, if you read it, let me know your general thoughts about it, but no spoilers, please. And tonight I will be continuing on reading Blood Knight by S.J. Johnston. I'm really loving this book, a really good vampire book, and I can't wait to do a video on this. So that's been my third part of my Storm of Swords vlog. Once again, thank you so much for watching this. It really means so much to me. And with all that out of the way, I'll see you in my next video.